somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now, because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat? Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is all we fucking get? I need somebody to please fucking tell me he's lying. I can't. What the fuck am I gonna do? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Breathe.
About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day, because I personally need to eat more in the middle of the day to be able to accomplish all that I have to do during the day. By dinner time, nighttime, whatever. If I'm hungry, I can just fall asleep through it. It doesn't really matter. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work. I've worked since I was 14 years old. I have a college degree. But because we have children, and because aftercare and before care is too expensive, I've taken a job that's basically minimum wage so that I can be there to pick up my kids. I cannot fathom what we're going to do without that food stamp money, because if I already couldn't eat dinner with that food stamp money. So yeah, I'm glad some of you are happy.
So I just finally got confirmation that food stamps is officially cut for next month. And the thing about a lot of stereotypes is they say that if you're on SNAP benefits, you don't work hard, you sit on your butt and you just collect checks, when that's not the case. I work hard every single day. I get up every single day and clean houses, and I still rely on food stamps to feed my 6 children because the prices are so high. It's unrealistic to think about not having food stamps. Next month, I'm so terrified because 6 babies are always eating. Plus myself, I eat about 1 meal a day, but still. And it's like, they always say don't rely on the government. But sometimes, like in situations right now where the government literally has raised prices over 300% on just everything, eggs, milk, everything, you do have to rely on stamps, especially in my situation where I just got custody of 3 children on top of mine. So we need it. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm terrified right now. And I don't know if anyone else is scared, but this is scary. Or like, Trump needs to figure something out. I don't know. This is so messed up right now.
Imagine your house is burning down into ashes, and instead of trying to use a fire extinguisher to put it out, you decide to pour in gasoline. This is exactly what Trump is doing to America. Welcome to All News Pulse. In today's episode, we're going to try understanding why Trump and his administration is trying to starve its own voters and the majority vulnerable Americans by cutting SNAP benefits by the start of November. Mind you, SNAP biggest beneficiaries are senior citizen, children, disabled and poor American citizens and workers who total to more than 42 million of the US population, most of who are Trump's voters since red states are leading members on SNAP benefits. In the wake of a recent and ongoing government shutdown, which left thousands of federal employees and essential services in limbo and struggling without paychecks, President Donald Trump saw it wise to cut SNAP benefits from November. This is frankly stupid and a punishment to the vulnerable citizens of America, just weeks after closing the government and disrupting economic stability. Trump's administration move to reduce food aid and cut SNAP benefits signals a prioritization of fiscal conservatism over the basic needs of the 42 million vulnerable citizens that depend on SNAP benefits to put a plate of food on their table. To withdraw critical support during a time of economic crisis is to add salt to a wound, intensifying Americans' hardship and struggles to a point where Americans cannot afford food. We struggle so hard to pay taxes, and now we cannot feed ourselves? And now we have to beg for food from food aid and emergency services, especially when we are entering a season of annual festivity celebrations. We were supposed to be a superpower, and Trump has reduced us to a hungry nation. No, a starving nation. And all these suffering on Americans is to be justified by political disagreements between Republicans and Democrats over funding priorities. Is there a higher priority in life than food? Food is the most basic of basic needs, and Trump is taking it away. But how do you expect billionaires to understand this while they have never lacked a thing in their lives? The burden will always be felt by the majority vulnerable population, the elderly, the disabled, children, and all other Americans who depend on SNAP benefits for adequate nutrition. What are your views on SNAP benefits being cut starting November?
Talk about what happens when SNAP benefits stop getting paid, because it's worse than you think. Please don't panic, we are how we get each other through this. SNAP benefits as a program are designed to make sure that people who are food insecure are able to get access to food anyway. The majority of people on SNAP are working people who work full 9-to-5 jobs and still cannot afford food. SNAP helps them make those ends meet. But that's not all SNAP does, because what SNAP benefits are, generally speaking, are food subsidies that the government pays. Because it isn't just people on food stamps who rely on SNAP. Something like 25 to 31% of Walmart's total annual revenue is subsidies from SNAP benefits. Grocery stores like Meijer and Kroger and Food Lion, they are all subsidized by SNAP benefits as well. And what that does is it keeps the cost of food at these subsidized grocery stores way lower than it would be without those subsidies. Can you guess what time of the year the largest percent of a grocery store's revenue comes from SNAP benefits? It's November to January, which means that right now, the time of the year that not just people, but grocery stores rely on SNAP benefits subsidies the most, they don't exist. This isn't just people getting kicked off of food stamps. This is the cost of groceries going up another 25 to 50% and staying there. This is grocery stores being forced to close down rural locations and leave those communities without access to food for miles. This is all the big name grocery stores firing somewhere upwards of 50% of their in-store workforce rather than take the hit to their profits. That's millions more people losing their jobs. These things, they end up in a death spiral because the more desperate people get, the less people are working, the higher the cost of groceries will go, especially now that there's no SNAP benefit subsidies to keep those costs down. SNAP benefits aren't paid for a month or longer, you're going to see the complete collapse of the consumer economy. Following that, very likely the collapse of the dollar bill itself. People look at SNAP benefits and think it's only food stamps, but it is literally a cornerstone of our functioning American economy. It is what keeps food accessibility in the United States afloat. You think it's not going to affect you because you're a big, strong, red-blooded American who works in a town 20 miles away from everything else? That's not going to help you when your local mom-and-pop grocery store is forced to close because they're no longer being subsidized by SNAP benefits, and the remaining grocery stores that are closest to you have their costs go up 25 to 50%. This is going to affect everyone. Now is the time, no matter where your community is, to start building up a network that makes sure food gets distributed to the people who need it. Start talking with your local food pantries, with your local soup kitchens. Get involved with organizations who try to make sure that those at a financial disadvantage have access to food. Or yet just ask around your neighborhood. Are you okay? Do you have enough food? Okay, thank you. Or what do you need? It is quite literally how we get through this, and it is so easy to reach out to people. And easier still to build a network.
If you are naive enough to think that the pause to SNAP benefits on November 1st isn't going to affect you because you don't receive food stamps, I want you to hear this. About 1 in 8 Americans receive SNAP benefits. In fact, in Oklahoma, where I live, that's 1 in 6 people. So about 600,000 people in my state alone, Oklahoma, receive SNAP benefits. About 1 in 4 children in the U.S. receive SNAP benefits. But you're not one of those people, so you don't care, but hang with me. When those benefits go away, just about $9 billion in grocery spending vanishes. So you've got to be thinking about not just the grocery stores being able to stay open and pay their employees, but you have to think about the entire supply chain, trucks on the road, people who provide food to these grocery stores. $9 billion. Every dollar spent in SNAP benefits adds about $1.50 to $1.80 to the economy. So cutting those benefits isn't saving that dollar, it's taking away that $1.50 to your local economy. But you don't receive SNAP benefits, you don't work for a grocery store, you don't drive a truck, you don't give a shit. But when all of those things happen, the only way to combat that is to drastically increase the price of groceries. Grocery prices are already up over 3% in 2025 alone, which is almost an entire percentage higher than the average increase in grocery prices over the last 20 years. I thought they were supposed to go down day one though. So even if SNAP benefits only pause for 1 month, which by the way would be detrimental to all the people I mentioned before that you don't give a shit about, it will cost the economy roughly $13 to $14 billion in profit. And you can expect your grocery prices in just that 1 month to go up at least 1%. And states will stand to lose about $300 to $500 million in sales tax revenue. So even if you do not receive SNAP benefits, you never have, you never will, you do not want these to be paused on November 1st.
Y'all need to get y'all's families together and have a big family meeting about how the holidays is motherfucking canceled. Yeah, cancel all of this shit. Everything is canceled, okay? Don't go out there buying all of these gifts, all of these presents. Don't go out there buying all of this. Furthermore, you need to start cutting down on your spending and stop buying unnecessary stuff, okay? Because the only way we're going to affect these people is to hit their pockets. They don't give a damn about us, all right? They done suspended SNAP benefits for the month of November. They said, hey, states, we ain't got it. How you ain't got it? How you ain't got it? But you're sending money to other countries. You're sending money to other countries and you're funding their food, you're funding their health insurance. Meanwhile, the government is shut down about an argument about health insurance and about other things that Americans need. But you're sending my money to another country. Shut the shit down. And before y'all get in my comments trying to talk shit, shut up. Okay? Oh, she's just mad because she's not receiving her food stamps this month. Baby, I don't even receive food stamps, but I have before. I'm not mad that I'm me personally not receiving food stamps. I'm mad about the direction America's going in. I'm mad for the people that's not receiving food stamps this month and that really need it. I'm mad that they cancel food stamps on the month where everybody gets together and spends the most on food, Thanksgiving. I'm mad about that when they know people need food. People that are really struggling are going to go without food. Homeless people are going to go without food. There are people that are going to be in the month of November starving. Food banks was already packed and already full. They're going to be even more packed than ever. And as a matter of fact, if you have the means and you feel like, oh, I haven't been affected yet, go ahead and give. Instead of spending money on bullshit this year, how about you go ahead and give to your local food banks? Go give some food. Go give some time. Go give some energy and help out. Because if it's affecting one, it can affect all. We're all going to be affected by this eventually. And it's no coincidence that they canceling food stamps this month. He wants us to go out and riot so bad so he can declare martial law. Y'all should be very upset. And if y'all can't get on one accord and stop buying shit up at the very least, baby, we're already done. We're doomed. We're done. Shut it down. Only buy necessities. Yeah, holidays is canceled. Don't go out there buying your kids $1,000 worth of gifts. Sit your kids down and have a conversation. It'll be okay. Let them know. We're fighting right now, sweetie. We are fighting. Your kids will understand. Let them know you're fighting for their future because right now it's not looking like they're going to have much of one. They'll understand. They'll get with the program. They'll adapt. They'll adjust. It'll be okay. You got to hit their pockets. You got to hit them where it hurts. They're not going to listen until you affect their money, affect their wallet. Since they want to take money out the government and a lot of these big corporations, big businesses are the ones that's funding it. Stop spending money. Yeah, holidays is canceled. Next 4 years, stop buying shit up. They don't give a damn about us. Stop buying shit up. Baby, don't go out there buying up all that shit. Sit the fuck down. Next 4 years, we sitting the fuck down.
A lot of people that are on food stamps and live in really poor areas also are Trump voters. I'm seeing a lot of videos right now where a lot of people are really pissed at Trump. They weren't mad at him when they got to see other people lose stuff. But now that it affects them, see, we're dealing with the kind of person here that takes joy in watching people lose stuff. They were indoctrinated from middle school. When they watch their middle school team lose or win, they get to go, ha, 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 I love watching you lose. That's what America does. It's called indoctrination. We now have a president who is like a toddler. He made an AI video where he dropped excrement from a F-whatever fighter jet, and he's wearing a crown. This is like a toddler in the White House, and he's punishing his own people who voted for him if they're poor. He is sending a signal to America that he's taking from you to give to his buddies, and this is what you voted for.
I'm not sure how to feel anymore about everything that's going on. So everyone's in an uproar because they're talking about taking away the SNAP benefits. Now, I voted for Trump, but I gotta say, man, I don't feel warm and cozy about this one. I don't agree with taking people's food, their resources to survive. There's elderly, there's children. I understand there's people on the system that abuse it, misuse it, buy processed foods, however you want to put that. But what it boils down to is just like a kid in a grocery store that's acting out, screaming, acting a fool. You can't blame that child. You got to blame who's in charge, the parents. Now, the government's in charge of all of this stuff that's going on. Senate, Congress, whoever, the president, they're in charge of, deciding who gets assistance, food, so to speak. They created a monster. Now they got to try to find a way to fix it. But I don't feel good about threatening if you're going to do it or not going to do it, because I don't know what the hell is going to happen. But you can't threaten people right before the holidays to take away all they have, which is food to feed themselves and their parents or whatever, and the children, right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. But it's ill-timed. It's not cool. I don't agree with it. I voted for Trump, but I don't agree with taking people's food. I pay taxes every day, and I'd much rather, even I know there's people that misuse it, I'd much rather take my money and feed my neighbors and the people that are not doing well and have no money or poor or whatever. I'd rather feed them than send all my fucking money to Argentina or Ukraine. Whoever's in charge of where our tax dollars go, they should all be fucking fired. They should have been fired at the beginning of the year when they found out how much corruption and misspending had been going on, the trillions of dollars pissed away. Find somebody that knows how to figure out the taxes to make sure they're spent properly, not overseas. Enough of the bullshit. But don't take people's food away. A lot of people, that's all they have left to cling to is their food that they put in their stomachs every day. And if you take away the food, can you imagine what would happen? Tens of millions of people storming grocery stores, kicking doors in to feed their children, because desperate times calls for desperate measures. And if you have nothing to eat, people already got nothing to live for. People are so depressed, anxious, stressed. I don't want to know what's going to happen. But like I said, you created this monster. Now it's up to you to fix it. We created it. Fix the broken system.
Side note to a side note, I just want to explain how SNAP programs work at farmers markets. Because cutting off SNAP benefits is directly taking money out of farmers, like local American farmers' mouths and pockets. There is a federally funded program, called Fresh Bucks. That's what it's called in Indiana. I don't know if it's called something else in other states, but Fresh Bucks means if you are a Fresh Bucks approved farmers market, you can match, double, or up to triple your SNAP benefits as cash to spend at the farmers market. I started my business right in the middle of the pandemic, basically. And my first season of the farmers market was the 2021 season. And I signed up for this because my product was a hot honey product, and it was shelf stable, right? So you don't have to refrigerate it. It doesn't go bad. It's a really useful thing to have around if you are low income or you're food insecure, because it packs a lot of flavor in a little bitty bottle, and you never have to do anything with it but just like leave it in your pantry. So I participated in this program, and I sold a lot of product to SNAP benefit recipients, and so did a lot of my fellow farmers market vendors, especially farmers, especially produce vendors. And it was the produce vendors that were the people that you could that made the most money off of these SNAP tokens, off of the Fresh Bucks program. When the government cut off people's extra SNAP benefits, I saw a loss of money in the thousands for my small business. And again, like, that was not a large portion of my business. But that means, I would guess, like, for your average produce vendor at the farmer's market, losing their SNAP benefits, especially if they're getting Fresh Bucks, I mean, that alone will devastate a lot of small family farms. Because, like, $10,000, $15,000, that is a lot of money to a very small farm operation. And it is wild, because I talked to a ton of people when I was a farmer's market vendor who benefited directly from the government programs that they were voting to get cut off. One of the worst people I've ever met at the farmer's market was a vendor who, aside from having pointy monster teeth, I found out that he is a hardcore Trumper who is, of course, a landlord. Where does his money come from? Did you guess Social Security and the Postal Service pension? Yeah. So his entire life, his income is possible because of the money that he gets from the government and from his union. And he's probably bitching and complaining right now that Democrats are the reason that he's not getting his SNAP payments from the government. Because they're all fucking morons and they're all fucking brainwashed.